welcome into A Better Way to Food Truck podcast. I'm your host, Jay McFarland. Today, I want to introduce you to Aracely Jarrell. She owns the Big Easy Sandwich food truck with her husband. I can't wait for you to hear how a tragedy in their life sent them down an amazing new path to food truck success. She'll also share with us some important lessons about how their success didn't happen in just one day, and that it can take a lot of hard work, but it is certainly worth the effort in the end. Now remember, this podcast is produced and sponsored by Order Up Apps. If you're looking for a better way to food truck, look no further than Order Up Apps for your ordering and marketing needs. Not only are they official Square partners, they offer custom branded ordering apps and marketing tools made for food truck operators just like you. Get your 14-day free trial at Order Up Apps today. All right, well, it's fantastic to have you on. I'm so excited to learn about you and your story. Tell me a little bit about your background and how did you end up in the food truck business?
Well, hi. Thank you for having me on your podcast. My name is Aracely Jarrell. I'm the owner-operator of the Big Easy Sandwich. And our project started as a bittersweet story. At that time, I was commuting 75 miles each way.
Wow.
From Beaumont, California to Irvine. I worked for a Fortune 500 company, and I was in international finance. And the commute, it was getting to me anyway. So I had already thought about change.
Right.
At that point. And we were surprised by a stroke that my husband had. And this was in February of 2012.
Wow. And
he found himself, depressed, no job, no health. And when he went to collect any type of benefit that was available to him, and he worked all his life in the restaurant industry. At this time of the stroke, he was working for a large chain of restaurants, and he was a manager.
Okay.
And of several restaurants, and so he got handed his last check and said, we no longer need you. Instead of offering him, any type of benefit that would help him. So, we spoke, and I was concerned because all of the financial pressure, it fell on me.
Right.
So, we talked, and jokingly, I said, don't worry about it, because I was trying to uplift his spirit, because, he was so down. So I said jokingly, you know what, don't worry about it, honey. I said, you are going to end up owning your own business. We're going to do something. You have so much knowledge. I didn't even think about getting involved at that time. I was just trying to get him out of that funk that he was in. So I jokingly, I said, you're going to have your business. It's going to be very successful. I said, if we lose this house, it's just, a piece of carton with stucco, who cares? As long as we're together, as long as the family pulls together, I said, we're going to be fine. And, I went to my closet, and I closed the door in my closet, and I started crying, like, what am I going to do? So that was that. So I borrowed a little bit of money from my 401k just to give them something to look forward to. And I used to give them exercises every day when I used to go to work. I said, when I come back from work, think about a plan, let me know what you would like to do. And so he would work on the little bit of homework that I would leave him to get him motivated, So, I borrowed a little bit of money from my 401k, and on my way home from my commute, there was a brewery in Redlands, California. And the brewery, I used to stop by, so it was like my water hole before I came home to deal with a very stressful situation. And I noticed that the brewery, it was really cool because they had just started themselves. And now it's all over the nation now. It's pretty cool. It's a craft brewery. It's called Hangar 24.
Okay, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Okay. So I got to know the staff, and I'm a total people person. I worked in finance. I worked in front of a spreadsheet and on the phone, and that's not me. I love people. I love the energy of people, and to know what makes people tick, and so I got to know the staff, and I mentioned to the manager. I said, you guys are in the middle of nowhere. They're right next door to a municipal airport. There's no restaurants or no nothing around there. So I said, for retention. So, what do you guys do? How do you market retention as far as people can have one beer, two or three? You need food in your stomach, otherwise
Right.
you're going to deal with a DUI.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggested, I said, why don't you bring food to your tap room? So at that time, it was sort of like a new movement to the area that we live in, which is called the Inland Empire in California. Because food trucks, they're pretty popular in Los Angeles, some Orange County at that time. But early on, actually, my husband, he had the vision. When we first moved from Orange County to Beaumont, he had mentioned to me, he says, there's going to be a movement of food trucks. They're no longer going to be the roach coaches. And this was back in like 2004, 2006, around there. And he forecasted that movement by his vision, and he says, these roach coaches, they're going to turn into gourmet food, and I had only experienced a roach coach. So,
Right.
I was like, I don't think so. Like, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical. I mean, how can you eat a gourmet meal out
Yeah.
of a food truck,
Mm-hmm.
So, he's, of course, he's been all his life in the food industry. So he's very well versed, and he's very intelligent. He's very smart. So, I spoke to the manager at Hangar 24, and so when we talked about the concept, so I came back home, and he had a business plan, and he says, well, we can form a mobile kitchen. And I said, well, that's awesome, because there's this brewery that I stopped by as my water hole on my way here home. I said, and they have no food. So so we launched with a pop-up restaurant concept. So we were on the easy up, and our equipment, it was so simple. We started with one sandwich,
Wow.
because at the time of the concept, I'm from Mexico. I was born in Baja. He is a California boy. So we right away, I thought, oh, tacos. Let's do tacos. And the taco concept is just so played out. It's
Mm-hmm.
overrated. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone's tired of tacos, because here in California, every corner that you turn to, there's tacos.
Yeah.
So he says, you know what? He says, I don't think that's a good idea. He says, we need something different, something original, different, exciting, that you cannot find in every corner. So I said, show me what you got. So his family is from the South. So, he has New Orleans roots. So hence the Big Easy sandwich. That's how we
Okay.
came up
Yeah.
with the name. He came up with that name.
Mm-hmm.
And he started playing with the artwork, and he downloaded some artwork from the New Orleans Jazz Fest. So he added the characters that dancing under an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So, we created a logo. It was cute, but I needed something professional, because I already thought about marketing. I thought about a brand. I was
Yeah.
already thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So we started with the pop up. We started doing. We launched on 4th of July of 2013
Okay.
with a pop up and one sandwich.
Wow.
So there was a city celebration for the 4th of July, and we set up, and we brought food and equipment like we were going to feed thousands of people, and we sold nothing.
Oh no.
Nobody, nobody knew what a muffaletta was. That's the sandwich
Mm.
that we started with. A muffaletta is a typical sandwich that is a local to New Orleans.
Okay.
It's a delicious cold cut sandwich with Genoa salami, mortadella,
Okay.
provolone,
Yeah.
and it's added it's topped with an olive tapenade.
Okay.
And we served it on a brioche, and the brioche is brushed with olive oil. It's a
Sounds
delicious
delicious. Yeah,
sandwich.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's savory.
Mm-hmm.
It's refreshing. For summertime here in California, it's an awesome sandwich.
Yeah,
But nobody knew what it was.
right.
They're not used to that type of food. So we ended up selling just drinks. We sold a bunch of Cokes and a bunch of water. That's all we sold.
Wow.
So it was very disheartening, and it
Yeah.
was very very sort of like thinking of, okay, so how are we going to do this? We have to rethink our you know our brand of, and we were very insisting that we wanted to stay with something different, and I'm glad we did. So my sister Angelica, she owned a restaurant and bars in Arizona,
Mm.
and this is very many years ago, through the 90s. So she had quite a bit of experience. So she gave us ideas, and with her support, we started adding items. So we added a roasted beef sandwich, and we created sauces. Some sauce, it was just by mistake. Because we added fish tacos. So here in California, you use a white sauce that you make with mayonnaise and milk,
Yeah.
and I happened to spill the bottle of Cajun spice that we use for our French fries onto the sauce. And we were in such a hurry that I said, you know what? What the heck? I just started mixing it, and it tasted so delicious
Wow.
that we implemented that sauce. So, and I added other secret ingredients
Mm-hmm.
to it that I developed our Creole sauce. And we use it. That's our signature with our dishes
That's
currently.
awesome.
So we had fish tacos. We have a Creole roast beef sandwich. We added burgers. We added craft burgers. There was a the, we actually now we have our maple bacon cheeseburger.
Mm.
We have jalapeno, so it's a jalapeno maple bacon cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
And the scent, as soon as we start cooking the maple bacon, is it.
Oh,
Everyone
I
asks,
can
"Are you cooking
imagine.
waffles? Well, what
Yeah.
are you guys
Yeah.
doing?"
Yeah.
And then it's a surprise. They bite into it, and the sweetness, the savory, the spicy of the jalapenos,
Mm-hmm.
and the spiciness of the Creole slaw, and the crunch and the texture that the
Mm.
Creole slaw adds to the burger. It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
like a
amazing.
it's like a parade in your mouth. It's so good. So we
Yeah.
started adding those items in the fish tacos because, of course, I'm from Baja, so I had
Right.
to have to put my 2 cents into it. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to carry. So we married our cultures basically with the items, and then I started creating focus groups before we launched an item. So I invited family and friends to taste our food and to let me know actually what has the spice level, how is the texture, how is the greasiness, the taste of the bread, because we
Yeah.
chose to use brioche buns.
It's
Is it too
very
sweet?
smart. Very smart to focus
So,
group that.
so the
Yeah.
items that made it, we kept those items,
Mm-hmm.
and also we have this signature dish that I cannot sell that fast enough. Is our Chipotle pulled pork.
Okay.
Usually, when you think of pulled pork, you think of smoked. And my husband and I, we are not fans of the smoky flavor.
Mm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
too much.
Okay.
So we oven roast it very slow, and we add fresh chipotle chilies to it while it's roasting. So it creates a bit of smokiness
Mm.
into the flavor of the pork, and it becomes so tender from cooking it slow
Mm.
because it melts all the fat, and it's become our signature. When I don't have it, there's customers that have left so irritated and so mad.
Yeah.
And I drove 50 miles just to
Wow.
have it. And what do you mean you
Yeah.
don't have it?
Yeah.
So yeah. So, to get back to our story of our beginning, so we launched at Hanger on, it was IPA Day. They were celebrating IPA Day, and it was very successful. Our
Mm.
muffaletta sold, and we added the other items, and it was amazing. It motivated us to, to continue, because at that time we were like, should we still do this? Should we not?
Right. Right.
So,
A lot of people after that first experience might have packed it in and said, this isn't going to work. We need to move on.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, the brewery culture, it's sort of a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
They're always visiting each other. The brewers are best friends. They
Mm-hmm.
belong to a home brewer club and such. And so we started getting invites from other breweries.
Mm.
So within, I say this is July, by November, we were working with about 10 breweries, 10 local
Wow.
breweries.
All
So we
pop-up
started
style.
growing. Oh, pop up.
All pop-up
Correct.
style. Wow.
Right. So it was working.
Mm-hmm.
It became where we could pay our bills and we could survive.
Mm.
Because by then we were so behind on mortgage, and
Mm.
I already had foreclosure notices,
Wow.
and so we were dealing with a lot of financial issues. Because trying to launch this business, and only on my income, and to support a family.
Right.
We have 4 children. So yeah. So then we teamed up in 2017 with a brewery, Dell Brothers, that currently is called Last Name Brewing in Upland,
Okay.
and we teamed up, and that's when together in collaboration, with their support, we launched our food truck.
Okay.
And it's actually not a food truck, a motorized food truck, but it's a food trailer that we pull
Okay.
it with
Right.
our vehicle.
Yeah.
But it's here in California, it's considered class 5, which is
Okay.
it's in the category of a food truck. So we signed a contract. We signed a 3-year contract, and with once having the food trailer, we started growing into the corporate catering, because they took us serious now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we started working with Costco, one of the large corporations in the West,
Mm-hmm.
and we do their employee appreciation catering.
Oh, fun.
300 to 500 employees at a time.
Wow.
We started working with Amazon. We started working with Triple-A, amongst other. We work with Falcon Tires. So we got into the corporate segment, the
Mm-hmm.
corporate queuing segment, and that's what it's very profitable.
Yeah. So you don't
And
run a route then. You're going to all predetermined events, scheduled
correct,
events. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Also, we got into the beer festivals, because
Mm.
our recipes for our food, they are designed to be paired with beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got very popular
Mm-hmm.
within the beer culture, the craft beer culture. So we were doing a lot of beer festivals, and out here in Southern California, we have a very large festival. It's called Coachella and Stagecoach,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Polo Grounds, they do other events as well. So we started working with the Polo Grounds, and that it is very busy. You're talking about serving 2,000 to 3,000 plates per day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we finished our contract with Last Name Brewing in Upland. The pandemic hit,
Mm-hmm.
so we bought out our contract a little bit early, a couple of months early. It was due in June. We bought it out in March, and because the pandemic hit, we lost a lot of business. We lost all
Right.
the beer festivals, all the music festivals, all of the corporate catering. All of that was it was
Wow.
gone.
Yeah.
So we had to change our strategy
Mm-hmm.
and keep each other, safe. I
Yeah.
wanted to keep my family safe.
Because at this point, at some point, you left your job, correct? To
Oh,
focus on this
that's
full
right.
time? Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when we launched our food truck, that's when I left corporate
You went
and
all in on this.
all in.
Was that
Yes,
scary for you?
it was very scary.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
I
bet.
love my job. I love
Mm-hmm.
my job. I love what I did. Um, I created a family within my coworkers. It was an amazing job.
Yeah.
I had an amazing boss that I learned so much from.
Hmm.
Um, and it was an amazing experience. It was a Japanese company, and
Hmm.
it's a Fortune 500 Japanese company, and they're into the electronic segment of business, and I
Hmm.
was in the business solutions.
Okay.
Uh, so, and I handle an international territory of South America. I'm versed in three languages: Spanish, English, and Portuguese.
So you
And
left a job, people you love, but you also
yes,
left a paycheck that I'm sure you loved.
exactly. A secure paycheck.
Yes, yes. With
Yes,
benefits and all of those things.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so the benefits, it was covering my family.
Hmm.
It was very difficult, and so I had to run the math. I had to run the numbers. So I massaged the numbers, and my husband and I together, and he encouraged me. He says, "I really need you. This is getting out
Mm.
of control.
Hmm.
Um, I need your help." So I said, "Well, Phil, let me take a look at what you're looking at." So he says, "Look, if we buy insurance, this is how much it's going to cost. Health insurance, and we add this in, but I project the sales that we can get into by growing the corporate sector. So this is our income is going to be this much increased. So now that we have that expense of health insurance, it's going to be irrelevant. We're going to
Hmm.
be fine."
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I was very skeptical and
Yeah.
scared. I
Yeah.
was scared.
Mm.
So the commute just got to me. It was too far, and I tried to get a corporate job. I worked for a major movie studio, and the administrative office, it was only 25 miles from home.
Mm.
So I moved from the Japanese electronic company to this large
Right. To be
movie
closer. Yeah.
studio,
Hmm.
right, to be closer. But I wasn't happy. I saw I started seeing a vision of what
Yeah.
we could do and what we could accomplish as a family and implement that into our business and make it
Hmm.
successful. So I said goodbye.
Mm.
I did.
I'm
And I
curious.
went
So you've
full
left
force.
your job, you're now all in, and things are going great, and then the pandemic hits. Did you feel at some point that like you had made a mistake and you should have stayed in the corporate world?
Not at all.
Really?
Not one bit. Not one bit. Because we had our following,
Mm-hmm.
and I all I had to do is change our strategy. I just
Okay.
started thinking, okay, so there's no corporate, there's no festivals. So what is left? I said, it's our community.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be there for our community. Keep them safe.
Yeah.
So we practice the distance. We had sanitizer outside of our truck, several
Mm-hmm.
bottles of sanitizer. We wore masks, gloves. And I wanted to keep them safe and keep us safe as
Yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
So then that's when we started free roaming
Mm, okay.
in our community,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all those beer drinkers that followed us at the breweries, at the beer festivals, they followed us to our
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah. This is one of the things that we've heard over and over, that food trucks actually benefited during the pandemic because people still desperately
Absolutely.
wanted to eat out. They still needed some place to go, but the restaurants were closed. Food trucks have a built-in barrier. They have a lot of the social distancing already. And so you guys went to the community, and I'm sure they were so grateful to see you.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Mm-hmm.
happened. So we picked a couple of spots around here where there's high traffic, and it worked like a charm.
Mm.
It worked very well. And of course, I had to lower my prices a little bit
Sure.
because I wanted to give back to them as well for supporting us.
Mm-hmm.
So I lowered the price. Our local newspaper, the Press Enterprise, out of it's the headquarter in Orange County, that they have several local papers. They ventured off. they wrote about us, about our new process of how we survive,
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, and and it was it was such a nice experience to get to know my own community,
Mm.
because Upland is 55 miles west of Beaumont, so where I live. So I all this time that we were in business, I never got to know my own community.
Right, right.
So now I'm local, and now the community supports us. They love us so much, and it's so cool because sometimes when we're off to a job, we go into the freeway out here, and we hear like all these honks and
Oh, that's
people
great.
at us,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. They give us props, and oh, there goes the Big Easy, and or sometimes I go to the store, and they recognize the truck that I have to pick something quick, or that we forgot from our suppliers or something, and we're parking in the local parking lots, and they come up to us, hey, we had your food here and there, and
Mm.
thank you for bringing something different, and thank you for being here for us, and it's pretty cool to get the kind of feedback.
Yeah, very rewarding. Yeah,
Exactly. It
yeah.
is rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. So, California reopened on June 15th. And now we're very busy with welcome back to the office type of catering
Okay. Yeah,
for
because I was going to
corporations.
ask you. Now you've discovered you can be successful in the community, and
Right.
now some of that other business is going to return. How are you gonna? What's your plan going forward? How are you going to balance that? How are you going to manage it?
Well, the answer to that is to expand. That's
Mm-hmm.
in the vision, and I have other plans as well, to expand.
Mm-hmm.
So, the only thing that there's an issue in California, which is labor.
Yes.
Right now, I cannot find help at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. Yeah, a lot of the employees that I'm seeking for, the younger crowd, the
Mm-hmm.
millennials, and they get too comfortable because
Yep.
what they're doing at the moment, handling their finances.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of comfortable with that,
Yep.
so they're staying home, and
Mm-hmm.
they choose not to work at the moment.
Yeah, and we're seeing
So
that nationwide, by the way, not just in
right.
California. Yeah.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
creating a serious problem because
Mm-hmm.
now, the supply chain is becoming an issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I'm lucky that I live in an area where there's a lot of local growers, and they grow veggies and such. So, and it's better for me to promote that. I
Yeah.
promote our vegetables organic, and
Mm-hmm.
supporting local business and such. But the other items that we use in our food truck, it's becoming a problem that there's a
Mm-hmm.
shortage because of the supply of, there's other issues, like the energy cost, and how the product is not being moved and
Yeah.
things like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So there's a couple of issues, but you just got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have to drive a little bit further out into searching for the product or such, but we just do what we got to do. But
Yeah.
expansion definitely is
In the cards
in
for
the
you.
horizon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are your
yes,
are your children old enough? Do they participate in the business at all yet?
yes, they do. My youngest son, he's equal partner with us.
Oh, he is. I
Yes,
love to
he
hear
is.
that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So he's my husband's right hand.
Oh,
So
that's
I
awesome.
take care of all the administrative,
Mm-hmm.
and I do the marketing, I do the sales, and they are operations.
Mm, that's very good. So you're not out in the trucks very often with them. They're doing that together.
Oh no, I am. I
You are.
am. Yeah, I am, but I'm the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and that's what
Yeah.
you love to be. I could tell, and you've already said it. You're the people person. You're building the relationships. You're doing all of those things. That's your
Right.
passion, and it really shines through.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I love that you've gone from this moment when you were just being a great support to your husband in his incredible time of need being a support and a cheerleader and seeing that turn into something that is now a thriving family business. It's just an incredible story of perseverance and, just taking advantage of what's in front of you. I just love that part of the story.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very
Yeah.
proud. I'm very proud of our story, and I wanted to do this podcast because there's a lot of struggle at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always has been, but
Sure.
now with COVID and our current situation
Mm-hmm.
that our nation is facing, uh, I just wanted to, give them a little bit of encouragement and to say that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible if you put your mind and your heart into it, and to act with heart is
Yeah.
very important, to conduct yourself and to know that yeah, sometimes, when you are an entrepreneur and you decide to work for yourself, there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
There's high price to pay for that freedom that everyone thinks that,
Mm-hmm.
you're swimming in money and you're on your boat, in the
Mm-hmm.
lake,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you want to, that you have that choice. But there's a lot of sacrifice to it, a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the sacrifice, every minute of it,
Mm.
every blood, sweat, and tear that this has cost us to have a thriving business. I have enjoyed it, and the reason why is because I'm right along with my family,
Yeah. Yeah.
threading along, just churning
Yeah.
away, but we're together,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I really appreciate, that after working corporate, and I seen how corporate can be very cold,
Yeah.
and so it's different. It's very
Mm-hmm.
different.
And if they
And
don't show up the first time, keep trying, tweak it,
right,
keep pushing,
exactly,
keep following your dreams,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. And we I like to give back, like I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
to our community. So now we're known for, on Halloween, uh, we uh, we park in our local park and here at the city, and I do a grilled cheese giveaway to all the
Mm.
trick-or-treaters,
Oh, love that.
and a little cup of hot chocolate. And it's great because it's a way of me giving back and keeping the community together,
Mm-hmm.
and to be proud of their city, of where they live, that they
Yeah.
have something, something cool, something fun. The little kids, they're so cute, all dressed
Yeah.
up in their Halloween
Mm-hmm.
costume, coming and get. So it's a nice experience. Also, we do another giveaway. So I do two per year. The other one is, we feed the homeless.
Oh,
I
great.
work with an organization in the Coachella Valley that, we go and park, and they're of their choosing, and we give away burgers to the homeless,
Mm.
and we do that as well. And if something else fits right within, if I know that someone's needy or something, just,
Mm-hmm.
this past Saturday, we had two funerals to cater.
Mm.
One of them, they were struggling, and that's fine. I said, you can pay me in payments. That's okay.
Mm.
So it's my way of giving back. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's one of the other unique things about the food truck business. We've seen this all over the country. Food trucks going to take care of first responders or the homeless. When you can just pick up your operation and go to where the need is, there's incredible value to that. And we've seen yourself and operators across the country really rise up during the pandemic and serve. And I think that's an amazing story that needs to be told.
I agree.
Well, fantastic. Any advice for somebody who's thinking about getting into the food truck business?
Yes. My advice is to expect a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My advice is not to give up right when you think that, things are not working out. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always. You're going to come up. Trust me. You are going to come up. And my advice is to stay focused. to don't let the chatter, the outside chatter, the news or all the negativity that you were exposed to,
Right.
but to stay focused. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep your focus in what you're doing, and to act with heart. That's my advice.
I love
Yeah,
that. Act with heart. Follow your passion. And
exactly.
maybe you'll be more together as a family and not on the road for 75 miles a day. Right.
Exactly.
Both ways,
Exactly.
right? 75 both
Yeah, because
ways.
this really taught me what's important
Mm-hmm.
to our family. I
Yeah.
really and to myself as well,
Yeah.
because I learned a lot of strengths that I didn't know I even possessed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know I had this type of grit. You know?
Yeah. 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 And that's the real wealth, right? To not be on the road, but to be with your family.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for taking time to tell us your story.
Absolutely. It's all my pleasure.
Yeah,
I'm glad that
absolutely.
you have given me the opportunity to tell our story. I think it's important, for our story to be heard because, like I said, I want to motivate. I want to give, vision to whoever's thinking of launching a food truck that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. Just plan. Stick to your plan. Don't keep a mental to do list. Actually, write it down
Yeah,
and start
yeah.
marking it out. Don't play it in your mind. Leave your mind
Mm-hmm.
alone. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just and eat right and try to sleep right. It's very important,
Mm-hmm.
and keep yourself healthy. That's key. If you have health, you have everything. You can do anything you want.
Well, I want to thank Aracely Jarrell for joining us on the program today. I don't know about you, but I was certainly inspired by their story, how they turned a health crisis into a brand new career that has brought their family together, and also her candor and her honesty about how it didn't all happen in a single day and how they had an event where nobody purchased any of their food. Can you imagine? So thank you, and her passion and excitement is so infectious. Now, a reminder, this podcast is produced and sponsored by Order Up Apps. If you're looking for a better way to food truck, you don't have to look any further than Order Up Apps for your ordering and marketing needs. Not only are they Square partners, they offer custom branded ordering apps and marketing tools made just for your food truck. So get your 14-day free trial at orderupapps.com today. Thank you once again for joining us on A Better Way to Food Truck. My name is Jay McFarland, and we've got more incredible stories of food truck operators coming your way very soon.